People keep delaying justice because they keep placing it in the hands of man. And when you place your justice in the hands of man, you tell the version of you that has already survived that unless you are believed by someone else, that somehow that erases the proof of who you are. Justice is something that you become. It is not something that you seek from man. I'm going to read a passage from Ashley's Blueprint of Tarot. Justice is the brain's initiation into truth, accountability, and the weighing of consequences. After the Wheel of Fortune's lessons in cycles and change, justice arrives to remind the brain that every action has weight and every choice leaves a mark. This is the task of discernment, where the brain must learn to see clearly without distortion and to accept responsibility for what it creates. Justice is not blind but deeply aware, and it calls the brain to align thought, word, and deed with integrity. The task of justice is clarity. The brain must learn to separate truth from illusion, to discern the difference between what is real and what is convenient. Here the brain confronts its own biases, distortions, rationalizations, learning that self-deception only delays growth. Justice insists that the brain face reality as it is, not as it wishes it to be. The task is to look directly at the truth and to hold oneself accountable for it. Justice also requires balance. The brain learns here that extremes create imbalance and that fairness arises from the middle point. This is not neutrality born of avoidance, but balance born of wisdom. The brain must learn to hold both sides of a situation, to weigh evidence carefully, and to consider the long-term impact of its choices. Justice demands that the brain act not from impulse, but from reflection, cultivating steady clarity before deciding. The shadow of justice emerges when the brain distorts truth for its own comfort. This happens when accountability is avoided, when excuses replace honesty, or when blame is cast outward to avoid self-examination. Justice warns against manipulation, denial, and the refusal to see one's role in events. The shadow also arises in rigidity, when the brain becomes overly harsh or punitive, forgetting that truth must be tempered with compassion. The task is to honor truth without cruelty and to accept accountability without self-condemnation. Justice also asks the brain to examine the stories it tells itself. Every thought is a lens, and lenses can bend reality. The brain must learn to strip away false narratives and look at the raw structure of events. This process demands courage, for it often reveals uncomfortable truths about how one has contributed to their own cycles of pain. Yet through this task, the brain learns the liberating power of honesty. So many people seek justice in defending what they're not, instead of recognizing the proof of who they are. You are the proof of everything that you have ever experienced. That is non-negotiable. That cannot be rewritten. It does not matter what someone else's opinion is. It doesn't matter what their belief is. Their beliefs require your participation. Your truth does not require theirs. Love you guys.